'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night. This summer night. This summer night.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, my name's Lynette and I am about to go on a 3-week solo holiday to Orlando, Florida. It is my pre-travel day today. It is the 30th of July. I'm just finishing packing off my last few little bits, and when I've done that, I'll be heading off to the train station to catch the train to Manchester Airport, where I'm staying overnight tonight at the Radisson Blu Hotel, which connects by Skywalk to Terminal 2, where I'm flying with Virgin tomorrow. I don't think today will be very eventful, so this is definitely going to be a pre-travel and travel day vlog all rolled into one. All I'm doing today, getting the train. I'm hoping to do twilight check-in tonight, having a meal in the restaurant, and then going to sleep essentially. So I'll film little bits of clips as I go, but there's probably not too much that is exciting, but I will probably see you next when I check in at the Radisson Blu Hotel. Made it to the Radisson Blu at Manchester Airport. So I'll just kind of explain what's going on with my holiday at this time. So I think I mentioned before, I'm flying with Virgin tomorrow. I'm in premium economy. I'm going to try and do twilight check-in in a little bit. I've arrived at the Radisson Blu. I did realise once I arrived that I hadn't brought anything to drink, so I've had to sort of nip back out to a WH Smith to get some drinks. So I'm back in the room. It is now 10 to 4, and I believe twilight check-in is 4 till 7. So I could start going down anytime soon. Once I get to Florida, I have 1 week at Universal's Aventura Hotel, where I'm mainly doing Universal with a few trips out to probably the malls, the outlets, things like that. And then I transfer over to Disney for 2 weeks at Port Orleans French Quarter. First time doing a moderate resort at Disney, so very excited. Got a few new experiences, paid for experiences and some dining experiences as well that I've booked, so super excited. So yeah, I'm going to have an action-packed 3 weeks. Florida is currently on tropical storm watch, which isn't ideal. If it does become a tropical storm, it's supposed to hit the 3rd, the 4th of August, which is a few days into my trip, so at least it's not going to disrupt my flights. And obviously Disney and Universal are the safest places to be in any kind of tropical storm, but fingers crossed it doesn't actually reach Florida. Currently we're thinking it might head east or west of Florida, so I'll just monitor that, see what happens. So really quickly, I thought I'd just do a quick room tour of the Radisson Blu hotel room. This is a standard room, nothing extra fancy. So as you're coming through the door, to the left you've got a long full-size mirror, and here you've got hangers, ironing board, iron down there, and looks like some extra towels up there, and a little safe in here. It is pitch black in there. It's actually easier to see it through the camera. Fairly decent size actually. The bathroom is to the right as you come in. So obviously toilet, sink area here. And then shower or bath shower behind the door. Looks like some complimentary toiletries. Here you've got a little cubby hole, don't know what that's for. Nope, that is solid. I thought it would open. This opens into a fridge. I've just put an energy drink and a bottle of Coke in there for now to keep cool, because this room is very hot right now. On top of here we've got some tea and coffee making facilities, hot chocolate. It does say complimentary water on there, but it says Radisson Rewards. I think they signed me up for Radisson Rewards when I checked in, but I'm not trusting that that is actually complimentary, so I'm just not going to touch it. And then look at the size of that bed. Last time I stayed here, it was the most beautiful thing because that bed is humongous. I don't know what size that is. Is that a king? Is that bigger than a king? I don't know. But the room is huge. It is lovely. Little desk area. Massive TV on the wall there. Even comes with little notepad and pen that I might steal. A little tray in case you do room service. And then out the window is a little bit of a view of people coming into Manchester Airport. This is pretty much identical to the view I had last time I was here. So I think I'm basically almost in the same room. I think I'm just a couple of floors lower. I think I was higher up before. So this is the skywalk. I can literally walk out of an entrance in my hotel onto that skywalk, and then it goes all the way over there directly to Terminal 2, which is where I'll be heading in the morning. Actually, not even in the morning, I will be heading there before too much longer to see if I can do twilight check-in. So as I said before, it was really warm in this room when I came in. It's been a really hot, humid couple of days here in England, which is weird for England. The weather has taken a turn for the worse, like the sun's kind of gone, but it's still really humid at the moment. I spent ages trying to figure out how to turn the fan on in this room. And even though I don't need the lights on currently, it's one of those rooms where you put the key card in the little slot to activate the lights. Turns out you can't modify the temperature at all unless your key card is in as well. So just a little hint that I found out: if you need to modify the temperature, you've got to have your key card in the slot. Okay, so I stand corrected. I looked up the times for twilight check-in. It's 4 till 8. I've just had a bit of a cool down in the hotel room. It's now 4:10, so I think I am going to head over to twilight check-in. My bags are ready and waiting to go there. Obviously the big blue case here at the front, that's going to be the one I actually check in. The smaller case behind is my cabin case, and I've got my Loungefly there that I'll also be taking as my personal item. But sometimes, I know last time I went they put a tag on my cabin case as well, so I'm going to take it with me just in case they need that as well. I swear there is always something eventful that happens when I travel. I went down to Terminal 2. The skywalk at the moment, the bit between the Radisson Blu and Terminal 2, they're doing upgrades on the moving walkways, so they're completely unavailable, and it's like a one-way system and essentially single file. And with those open, like, it's windows all the way along the skywalk, and on the way to the terminal you're basically forced to walk in the boiling hot sunshine. There's no airflow. It is really, really hot in there. So by the time I got to Terminal 2 I was like dripping with sweat. So I sat down at the side just to get my documents out and not look quite so sweaty. By the time I went up to the twilight check-in, I took a quick clip of how quiet twilight check-in was. It was amazing. I was so excited. I thought, this is going to be dead quick. I don't know whether it's quiet normally or whether it's quiet for a reason. So I went up to the check-in desk, and the guy went, I'm really sorry, but our systems have crashed at the moment. And then he said he'd got a message saying that they'd gone back up, and then they crashed again. He took some documents off me and said he was going to try like a back way into the system, so he tried entering my details manually into the system to try and force it to accept me, and it still hasn't worked. So unfortunately I'm not able to do toilet check-in tonight, it looks like it. He did say at one point it has now hit the news. I've took a quick screenshot, so it's to do with the Microsoft systems again. They had an issue last week as well, but he said all the airlines have been having issues all day, which kind of makes sense. I tried to enter my contact tracing, so my hotel address, a few times today, and it just kept saying sorry, unable to complete this process at the moment, try again later. I tried about 4 or 5 times and throughout the day, and it still didn't work, so that kind of explains that. At least I wasn't doing something wrong. So yeah, he said obviously they're going to leave the check-in desks open until 8 o'clock. So I asked if it was worth coming back later, and he said he had absolutely no idea what was going to happen, so he'd recommend going back without my bags, just to check whether it's open before I come back with bags. So I've got a meal booked in the Collage restaurant downstairs here at the Radisson Blu at 5:30. It's now 10 to 5. So I'm going to have my meal first, and then while I'm sort of out and about in the lobby, I'll go down, quick walk to Terminal 2, just check what's happening with that. If not, I'm just not going to be able to do toilet check-in. I am in premium economy though, so there is like a separate queue for premium economy, so hopefully that won't be too long in the morning. However, obviously we don't know whether these issues are still going to be happening in the morning. I don't know what they're going to do if they still can't check people in the morning. He said they've been having problems all day, so I assume there's some other way that they've been checking people in, unless the problems have just got worse when I went. I'm really hoping this isn't going to affect my flight in the morning. I did happen to inquire, as I kind of said, when he was trying to force my details through, I did say I assume because the systems are down you won't be able to check whether there's any available upgrades. And he did say obviously he couldn't check, but also that he thought it was probably highly unlikely that there were any. Apparently tomorrow's flight to Las Vegas has been cancelled, so basically they've been filling all other American planes with the passengers from the cancelled flight. So it's going to be a busy flight tomorrow as well. So can't say I'm particularly looking forward to it. Yeah, I'll have to see what happens when I go back to the terminal later tonight. Fingers crossed they've got the systems back up and running. I really hope they have, because otherwise I'm probably going to be panicking all night. But we shall see. Okay, so I'm back. I feel like I've had the strangest evening. So I had my reservation at the Collage restaurant at 5:30. Didn't have the greatest experience. The service was lovely, can't fault them. Unfortunately it is a bit of a limited menu and it is quite pricey for what it is. Quite fancy, but other than Uber Eats there isn't really anywhere else I can see. It's like a Costa Coffee, so you could get a sandwich maybe, but there's nowhere to have sort of like a sit down evening meal other than that restaurant really. The only 2 things on the menu that I'd probably go for are fish and chips, which is what I had last time I was here, or the steak. So when I went to the restaurant I didn't really fancy the fish and chips, so I decided to treat myself and go for the steak. Yeah, and it just wasn't worth the money. It was really pricey. It was £45 for the steak, and it didn't come with anything else. You had to order a side as well, and plus a drink. I ordered a sirloin steak, and when I've ordered a sirloin steak in the past, it has never been on the bone before, and it arrived on the bone, and that was like an immediate panic thing for me, because yeah, I don't particularly like steak on the bone, and there was a lot of fat on it, so yeah, it kind of put me off from the outset. I mean, don't get me wrong, what I ate was nice. It was just not worth £45 to me, because I left a lot of it because I don't eat the fat and things like that. But it was a risk I took. I know I can sometimes be a little bit fussy with steak. Normally I'm safe with something like filet mignon, but it is what it is. And I did get a 10% discount, and when I checked in at the Radisson Blu today, they actually signed me up for the rewards members. I don't know, she just told me she'd done it after she'd already done it, but it gave me 10% off the food, so I got a little bit of a discount on it. So yeah, it was what it was. And they do add service charge on automatically as well on your bill. So after my meal, while I was already down there, I decided to go back to Terminal 2. As I said before, the guy at check-in advised me to maybe go back without my suitcase, so I didn't have to lug them back, to check whether the systems were back up. So I went back to Terminal 2 and the systems are back up. Yay! So I walked all the way back from Terminal 2 to the hotel to pick up my suitcases, went back to Terminal 2 and checked in. So that is all done. My big suitcase is gone. So in the morning I just have to make my way through security. I've got my boarding pass ready to go. I did inquire about upgrades. I'd set myself a budget. I'd gone, if it's over £200, I'm not going to do it. It was over £700. That was a big no-go. Possibly because of the cancelled Las Vegas flight tomorrow, that it's already basically quite full. So I don't see there being much of a discount on the flight tomorrow. So as I said earlier, it is going to be a packed flight, so it is what it is. Perils of solo travelling is that I will be sat next to a stranger for 8 hours. But c'est la vie. So after that, I got halfway back to the hotel when I realised I actually wanted to go back to departures to try and pick up a little Ziploc bag for my liquids that are in my carry-on case. I'm sure last time I came they had like a stack of them outside before when I had to go through security. But when I went to see, there weren't any there, so that was actually a bit of a wasted journey. So I'd already come halfway back to the hotel before I remembered and had to go all the way back. Virgin are in sort of check-in area A at the minute, which is actually closest to the Radisson Blu Hotel. So I'd come halfway back to the hotel, walked back past Virgin to go all the way through to the departures gate, and then I had to come all the way back to the hotel. So I've walked up and down that skywalk far too many times this evening. Absolutely exhausted now, but so relieved that I'm checked in and the systems seem to be up and running. My flight is at 11 tomorrow, but I'm planning to get to the airport probably for 8. That'll give me 3 hours beforehand, even though I don't have to check in. On check-in they did say they still recommended 2 to 3 hours early. I bought fast track security, which was only £6, so it shouldn't actually take me that long to get through security, hopefully. But I do have a lounge booked from 9 o'clock. So my plan is to go for about 8ish, look around duty free in the shops and things, and then I can just chill in the lounge from 9 o'clock, get some breakfast, sit and read in a bit of a quieter environment. I booked the escape lounge. I can't remember how much that was now, but I did it last time and I felt it was worth the money just for a sort of quiet and relaxing place to sit and wait for your flight. So I am going to head out for the evening. Like I said, this vlog is all going to roll into travel day, so I'm sure I'll see you bright and early in the morning. See you in the morning. Bye. Good morning, it is travel day. It still hasn't really hit me. I'm still a little bit surreal about everything. I think once I arrive at Aventura, that's when it'll hit me. I'll get really excited. But it looks like it's going to be a lovely morning here in the UK. I'll show you this view out the window. So the skies look lovely and clear here, so I think it's possibly going to be another hot one in the UK as well. You can see people going over to the terminal in the Skyway. I've already seen a couple of people running. People are panicking even at this early time in the morning. They've got early morning flights and they're running late already. So yes, I had a lovely night's sleep here at the Radisson Blu. It's 7:25. I'm actually not going to head over. I'm going to try and hold myself back from going to the terminal too early. I plan to get there 8ish. The lady at the check-in desk yesterday said they still recommend going 2 to 3 hours early, just because you don't know what security is going to be like, although I have got the fast track security. But my plan is to just kind of browse around duty free. I believe there's a bookshop, and that's like my weakness. I will probably spend ages in the bookshop before heading to the lounge at 9 o'clock. So just kind of chilling here at the minute. I am almost ready to go. Most of my stuff's packed up already. When I am ready, I can just head straight through security, which is lovely. I'm really excited about that. It's taken a lot of the pressure off this morning already. I have decided to do something a little bit different today in terms of my travel wear. I'm wearing a long floaty skirt to travel in, which I thought would be really comfortable and quite cool when I arrive in Florida. But not a lot of people travel in floaty skirts, and I'm now beginning to worry that maybe there's a reason why. So this may be a bad idea, but I'll find out. Worst case scenario, I do have the trousers that I travelled in yesterday that I could just put back on as a last resort. So I don't know how much I'll be filming. I'll try and get clips at least of sort of around the airport and the lounge. I don't know how much I'll be able to film on the flight. As they said yesterday, it's going to be a busy flight because they've moved loads of people from the Las Vegas flight that was cancelled onto our flight. So originally I did have the seat next to me available. That's definitely now booked up, so I don't really want to be filming too much when I'm obviously sat directly next to a stranger. So there'll probably only be like a few clips of my flight. Not that I'm probably going to be doing too much that's interesting. I'm probably just going to be reading or watching films or something like that. So I'll try and say hello when I can, but the next time you speak to me, it could be in Orlando Airport.
Welcome home. If you're one of our nearly 70 million visitors, welcome to the city. Here, imagination becomes reality in our theme parks and attractions. Authentic experiences are found in our art scenes, sporting events, and small business districts. In Orlando, there's something for everyone. We hope you enjoy your visit and everything that makes Orlando unbelievably unique.
Can't really hear as of one ear, but I am here. Hi everyone, it is a lot later now. I'm absolutely exhausted. I've been in my room at Universal Aventura Hotel for a little while now. Just I couldn't quite get my head around how much has happened today. So I'll try and go through things chronologically, and I'm sorry if I'm really not making much sense. I am exhausted. So when I went from the Radisson Blu to Terminal 2 at Manchester Airport, obviously I'd already done twilight check-in, but actually as I walked past the check-in desk they seemed fairly quiet anyway, which was amazing. I was basing my experience off when I last travelled in 2022, which I think was like the revenge travel. So it was just heaving when I last went. So actually everything was really calm and relaxed. I paid for fast track security. I don't think it was probably needed. It didn't look like security was that busy at that time. But as it was, I literally walked straight through security. There was zero wait at all. I didn't have to get electronics out. I just had to have my liquids separate and take my cardigan off, and I think that was about it. I had to have my shoes scanned for, I think it said Sandex, I don't know what that is. But I assume that was just like a random, they pulled out one every so often. One person every so often. Well, who knows, maybe I looked extra suspicious today. So I didn't have my lounge booked until 9 o'clock. That was my own fault. I left it quite late to book my lounge, and that was the only time I could get. I was planning to try and book an earlier time slot, and it just wasn't available. So I had a long browse through duty free. Did actually end up finding a perfume. I wasn't intending on buying a perfume, but found one that I absolutely loved. I've always been into really citrusy perfumes, but it seems to have fallen out of fashion lately, and I've actually struggled to find anything. So found this one. It's called Moschino, I think it's Toy to Pearl or something. I'll be perfectly honest, I think this bottle is actually hideous. But the perfume smells so good. It's very orangey. Yeah, I personally just love that. I think it's really fresh. That I'll overlook the bottle. I'll just try and hide it somewhere that I don't have to look at it. Then checked into the lounge. The lounge has changed since last time I was there in 2022. It's the Escape Lounge that I went to. This time they were enforcing strictly like what time you were and weren't allowed in, so I got like a check-in card that said what time I had to be out by. I mean, as it was, that time was well after when my flight had taken off anyway, because I booked it so late. So I had 9 till 12 available in the lounge. As it was, my gate ended up actually being called at 9:45, so I had like 45 minutes in the lounge, and that was it. But yeah, that was my own fault. I didn't quite expect the gate to be called that early either. I expected it maybe like 10:15, but obviously I'm not gonna hold things up by not going to the gate when it's called. The thing I was a bit disappointed about with the Escape Lounge was the food. I think I went at an awkward time. So when I went to get hot food, the only things they had out were sausage, bacon, tomatoes, and like tater tots, and that was it. There was nothing else there. Obviously there were continental options. There was lots of obviously like cereals. There were some muffins. They were a bit thin on the ground with pastries as well. I think that was the time I went. I saw people around me later getting plates of food with more on it, like scrambled eggs and things, and other pastries that weren't there when I'd gone. So I think that was just bad luck on my part. But when I walked past on my way out, again there was maybe, I couldn't see the scrambled egg anymore. There was another dish out that I can't remember what it was. Oh, they had beans out when I walked past. So they didn't seem to be replenishing the food very often. So I'm not sure if I'd book the lounge again. Maybe I'd consider trying the other one. They've got a 1903 lounge next door. Maybe I'd try that. I'll have to see. But I'd have to book it well in advance. Make sure you get a good time slot and make the most of it. 45 minutes, yeah, it just wasn't worth the price. So boarding went smoothly onto the plane. The cabin crew were lovely. The first half of the flight was really smooth sailing. I was a little bit anxious because I'm doing Universal for the first 7 days, and obviously there's the new Disney multi-pass that has been released where you can book it 7 days in advance, and it goes online at 7 AM Eastern Standard Time, which was 12 o'clock, which was supposed to be 1 hour after we'd departed. We were a bit delayed setting off. Apparently, unfortunately, one of the passengers had had a fall in security, and they were having to decide whether that person could actually get on the flight or whether they needed medical attention. As it turned out, they needed medical attention, they needed to stay behind, so they had to offload the baggage of that person and their family. So Virgin dealt with that brilliantly. They kept us informed on what was happening, and actually it was really quick considering. I think we were maybe 25 minutes delayed on our departure, which is nothing considering the fact that they had to find the baggage and get it off the plane. So yeah, because we were delayed setting off, I was like frantically trying to connect to Virgin's Wi-Fi, and Virgin didn't actually end up, I don't know what went on, whether there was a fault with the Wi-Fi. I'd asked a member of the cabin crew, and she seemed a bit confused about why it wasn't working yet, because I'd asked about maybe about half an hour after we'd taken off, because it still wasn't connecting, and this was about 10 past 12. It finally connected at about 12:30, so like an hour after we departed, which wasn't the end of the world. And actually when I went online, I managed to get all the multi-passes I wanted. The system's actually fairly easy to use, so I was pretty happy about that. I've even managed to get Tiana's, so yeah, that's getting me really excited for Disney. But I've got a week at Universal first, and we'll see how using multi-pass is when I actually get to it in the parks. So yeah, the food was quite nice. I got the truffle mac and cheese. The breadcrumbs on top were a little bit weird. I thought they'd be like toasted breadcrumbs, and it literally just seemed like it was genuinely just bits of bread on top, which was a bit weird. If it hadn't been for the breadcrumbs, that dish would actually have been really delicious. So I kind of tried to scrape as much of it off as I could. The lemon posset was like almost like a lemon cheesecake really, which was absolutely delicious as well. So yeah, highly recommend the food. I was in premium economy, so I don't know what it was like in regular economy, what the menu was. Yeah, about halfway through the flight was where problems started. We started getting a lot of turbulence. By a lot, and I don't mean particularly violent at the time, it was just prolonged. And the pilot kept apologising that it was going on for so long, so the seatbelt sign was on a lot of the time. The seatbelt sign turned off. At this point I was bursting for the loo, so went to the bathroom, queued for the bathroom, and then we hit, I assume it was like an air pocket or something, because we dropped quite a bit. It was scary, and of course I am sat on the toilet. So immediately the sign goes on to say get back to your seat and fasten your seatbelt. So I'm like desperately trying to get out of the toilet, open the door to find a member of the cabin crew on his knees in the sort of crew area, because the plane was bouncing that much. It was actually really quite difficult to stay on your feet. You could feel the force on your knees, so I copied him. I got down on my knees, and then it kind of leveled out, and I just like quickly scrambled back to my seat. There were people crying, people were just terrified. As it was, that was kind of the worst of it. It was scary for those few minutes, but again after that we only had small dips of turbulence. It was just prolonged. It went on for most of the rest of the flight. They did turn the seatbelt sign off every now and again when they could, mainly just to allow people to go to the bathroom, because people were desperate and the turbulence just wasn't stopping. Even when they turned it off, there was still, you could feel the turbulence, because it was so prolonged. Even sat here now, it feels like I'm bouncing up and down slightly. That also may have something to do with my ear. I do tend to have problems with my ears popping, so I try and do everything I can. I've got little earplugs called, I think they're called airplanes, that are supposed to help balance the pressure. I have like sweets to suck on. If anyone has any other ideas of how to help with your ears, it feels like my ear just doesn't pop, and so I just get like, it's really painful when we're going into land, because it's like the pressure builds and builds and builds in my ear, and it's really painful. And then when we land, it's not painful, I'm just like mostly deaf in that ear. It's like I'm hearing everything underwater. So everything else has worked for my right ear. I can hear perfectly well out of this one, but yeah, everything's muffled out of this side, which I don't think is helping with the whole bouncing situation and like feeling off balance. So I'm not feeling 100% right now. Every so often it really painfully pops, so I'm hoping it'll kind of sort itself out tonight or overnight, and I'll be able to hear for tomorrow at Universal. However, what I will say, I was worried about the flight in terms of how full it was, and being sat next to a stranger. As it was, I was sat next to a lovely girl called Hannah, who is in year 5 in school, so that probably makes her what, like 10 maybe? And she was just lovely. We had lovely conversations about how excited she was about Disney and Universal and Harry Potter. We played Harry Potter Top Trumps, and like we used the same card to do like heads up to guess the Harry Potter character. She kept me amused for most of the flight. I watched a couple of things. I watched the Mean Girls musical, and the 2 episodes of an adaptation of Agatha Christie's Murder is Easy. But other than that, it was booking my multi-passes and sort of chatting and playing games with Hannah, which was lovely. So despite the turbulence, it was a nice flight. It went really quickly actually. I'm just not feeling that great after it. So once I got to the airport, I was one of the first few people off. Pro tip, I downloaded the MPC app, which is like, I want to say it's like mobile passport check maybe app, that's done by the American Border Patrol. You fill in the questions, and as long as you have a visa waiver program, which the ESTA is part of, you go in the mobile passport checkout lane, and basically skip the like hour-long immigration queue. I think it took me in total about 20 minutes to get through immigration and to grab my bag. Admittedly, the bags came out really quickly. My bag was already there when I came out the other side, and the only reason it took about 20 minutes is because a load of crew from a different flight came off at the same time, and they tell you to prioritise letting the crew through first because you're kind of on the same queue as the crew. So there's about 5 members of a crew from a different flight, and then I was after that. So yeah, that was the quickest I've ever been through immigration. That was wonderful. I do think that's only because it's not widely used at the minute, so everyone's in the other queue. I think once people start using it, it'll probably still get the same wait, but currently that was amazing. And then I went straight through to bag claim, and like I said, my bag was there. Then went to get an Uber before I came out, I signed up for a free 4-week trial of Uber One, which gives you like priority for like higher rated drivers, and I think it's 10% discount. So I think with a tip, my ride to Universal was about $40, which I didn't think was that bad. And my driver got there really quick. She was, I think, 3 minutes away when I booked on the app. And yeah, and then I think I arrived here. So I landed about 3:25, and I think I arrived here by, I'm not sure, let me check. So I arrived here at, and was checked in by 5:10, because I sent a text to my parents telling them that I was all checked in and safe at the hotel. So yeah, it's been a long one. Checked in, came up to my room, and I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. I've already bought the Aventura refillable mug. I think that was $26 something for the length of my stay, so 7 nights, and I've already filled it up with Minute Maid peach lemonade, which I absolutely love. I'd forgotten how nice it was. So good. I did also go down to the vacation services, I want to say it's called, something like that, to check about my Universal Orlando ticket. So Ever After Holidays has sent me a big A4 sheet that says it's like a mobile ticket with a QR code, my name, and it says you can just go up to the turnstile with a photo ID and scan it, which the guy at the desk confirmed I could do, but I was worried because it's obviously a big piece of A4 paper, and I'm worried about it getting damaged, and then basically losing the use of my ticket. I asked if he could change it for a paper ticket. So last time I got like a small rectangular ticket that would just fit in my wallet, and he said they can't exchange that kind of ticket for a paper ticket. He did say what I could do is scan the QR code and get it onto my Universal app, so it saves like a copy of it. So that is what I've done. And then, so my plan is to use my app for most places. However, it's not 100% convenient, because at certain rides you've got to put your phone in a locker and then use your ticket to get back into the locker. So if your ticket's on your phone, how do you get back into the locker? It doesn't make too much sense to me. So my plan is, I folded up my QR code and put it in my bullet lanyard. So plan to use my phone ticket for most places, and then when I need to get back into a locker, I'll use my paper copy, just to try and avoid damaging it too much. Right, oh god, this has been going on for almost 19 minutes. This is how much has happened today. Okay, I have unpacked, so it is a little bit messy already. I just couldn't face going through everything that had happened today. I needed a bit of an unwind before I sat down and went through everything. So I am going to do a quick room tour. Okay, so I'm in an Aventura standard king room. So literally as you walk through the door, on this side I've got a wardrobe. You have the safe up there. I've already hung some stuff up there, and there's like extra pillows maybe. Big floor length mirror next to the door. Lovely sofa, which I'm actually quite enjoying having. Obviously the massive king bed. Little bedside table. I'll come back to that tablet in a moment. So a little desk, TV, loads of drawers there for your clothes, fridge in there, Then if I go back this way, so the sink, plenty of spare towels, and then in here we've got the toilet and the shower, which is all fairly self-explanatory. Right, coming back to this tablet, so I haven't explored this too much, so all I'd used it to do currently is turn the TV off because it was on when I came in, but it looks like you control the TV, which is kind of weird. You don't have a remote at all. So all the channels, you can cast onto it, so you can put YouTube, Prime Video, Hulu, find out information about the resort, control the lights and the temperature, find out about dining, other services they've got, chat, and then bill and checkout, which I'm obviously not going to initiate just yet. So yeah, that's really cool that they have that there. And look at this view. So out my room, you can really clearly see most of Cabana Bay there. It stretches all the way back here. But if you stand this way, I actually have a volcano view, which is really cool. Okay, so I am actually going to leave this probably here tonight. The only other thing I think I'm going to do tonight, now that I've unpacked, is to go downstairs and get some food. I want to try and get my body into the habit of eating at Orlando times. So local time currently is 6:30 in the evening. So might go down and get something to eat soonish. It's 11:30 UK time at night. So I'm absolutely knackered. Yeah, not doing a hotel tour just now. I'll try and do that another day. So yeah, I'm not going to bother showing you me eating. I'm probably not going to have anything exciting. Just try and find something small, I think. So tomorrow I'll be up probably bright and early with jet lag, planning to spend quite a bit of the day at Universal Islands of Adventure. I don't know where I'll end up, but yeah, just taking it easy on the first day, not going too hard. I plan to come around away from the parks maybe early afternoon, mid-afternoon, come back, maybe enjoy the pool if the weather doesn't scupper that idea. And yeah, just take it a bit easy, maybe do an Uber Eats order to get a few groceries in. I'll say groceries, it's bits and pieces that I didn't want to bring with me, so I knew I could just order here and have delivered. So yeah, that is the plan. So hopefully you will see me bright and early tomorrow morning, slightly more together, and hopefully able to hear out of my ear. But we'll see. I don't know how long this day is actually going to have been, considering me talking through my day just took about 20 minutes. It's probably very long, and I'm very sorry that most of this vlog is just me talking at you. Hopefully you'll see a bit more tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye.